Welcome to the LC3 Family Talk podcast, where we take a deeper look at everything from recent sermons to current events, all through a biblical lens. You'll love the guests and stories you'll hear on LC3 Family Talk, where our goal is connection, community, and relationship with God and with one another. And now, here's your host and one of our pastors, David Pritchard.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to LC3 Family Talk, and I'm excited today. I get to talk to a couple of our students, and really excited for you to hear from them. I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second, but we get to talk today about Malibu and the Military Family Camp, and so I have Dustin and Elena here. And first, thanks for joining me. Really glad you guys are here. Why don't you start, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you find yourself here at Lake City, and a little bit of your journey to get to this point.
Yeah, I'll go first. So my journey in my life, my parents were missionaries, and so I was born in Costa Rica. And then we moved from there to Kansas when I was about 1, because my dad joined the military. And from there, we moved here into Washington when I was about 4 or 5. And that is when we kind of found Lake City as our church. And since then, I've been going here at Lake City. And so I've been coming
here. So you grew up in the children's ministry and all of that?
Yes, I was going to Awana. I was going to the LC3 Kids Maine. And it was a lot of fun, and that's kind of just my childhood, and I have many memories from that. And that's brought me all the way up to this point where I've been here for about 13, 14 years, and now I serve as a student leader on the host team for Kaleo, which is our high school ministries. And that's kind of where I'm at this point. And I also help lead the high school ministry called Love Lakewood, which is when we do community outreaches and stuff in the city of Lakewood.
That's awesome. It's been fun to see you grow up and, become the young man that you have become. And so I understand, though, you have an older brother.
I do, yes.
Yes, and he actually takes credit for the man that you have become.
He does take a lot of credit.
Any merit to that, or
Actually, there's actually a little bit of truth to that.
Sure.
When I was a little bit younger, I was a lot softer and everything, and just naturally, it wasn't super tough or anything, and not really strong. But then my brother, he was always super strong-willed, and he kind of just gritted me out growing up, and kind of a little bit of conflicts here and there. But in the end, we're still really good brothers. Still good friends, and he's in Georgia right now, Army Ranger, as he naturally should be. But he definitely, I'd say, gets a little bit of the credit for help shaping me into who I am today,
good.
making me very.
Good. See, so all you little brothers out there, be thankful for your older brothers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Elena, how about you?
I have been in Washington my entire life, but I have not been at LC3 my entire life. I started couple other churches and came here I think when I was around 11.
Okay.
And got plugged into middle school ministries, and then from there transitioned to Kaleo and joined the worship team right away, so got involved through ministry there, and now I have the honor of leading the worship team. So
nice. Yeah, I've seen you up there. It's awesome. It's really fun to see you up there. So rumor has it that you like doing cold plunges. Is there truth to that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. How often do you do that? And why would you do? No, just kidding.
It's so refreshing. I love it. It's therapeutic.
How do you do that?
So I go to Tatlo Beach. It's in Tacoma. It's 2 minutes away from where I live.
Okay.
And basically just swim around the beach there. And yeah, it's so fun. I love it. And I just feel
even if it's cold outside.
Yeah, there's been some hard days and it's pouring rain and but yeah,
okay.
It's therapeutic, I think. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks you guys for coming and joining me. And obviously the reason you're here is because last summer you were on the work crew with us. It was first time for Lake City to go there and do this. But I'd love to hear, before we jump into Malibu itself, just some camping experience. You guys have done a lot of the winter retreats, and tell me a little bit about what your experience has been in camping in general.
So for me growing up, I went to several camps, a couple summer camps, including like Black Lake Bible Camp. I've done a couple times, and even as a church family.
Oh yeah, the family reunion.
Family
Yep.
reunions, yep. Those were lots of fun. And I also did those for like the summer camps for like during my elementary and like middle school years. Those were really cool. But some of the most memorable have been our high school ministry, Kaleo's winter retreats. Those have been tons of fun, super impactful on my life, or even for the middle school retreats too. Going out to Leavenworth in the mountains, and always just finding moments where I can meet God there. Even during some of the seasons where I just didn't feel super close to God, or I just felt like a little bit farther away. And it definitely has had a huge impact in my own life, and just kind of like turning my life around and trying to like following Christ through that. And like tons of fun stories that I can just go on and on about. Staying out super late, doing all sorts of crazy things, especially this past year, because it's my senior year, so you got to end it off on a bang.
Yes.
But yeah, nothing too mischievous, don't worry. But yeah, still lots of fun.
Great. Elena, how about you?
I grew up going to like a family camp in California like every year for like 12, 13 years, and it was just such a like a bonding experience with my family, with like another family that we went with, and I love like that camp experience. Is so fun. And then obviously like camping in the mountains with like the tent, and you wake up like soaking wet because it's rain and like just the I guess different aspects of camping.
Yeah, that's good. Dustin, one of the things you said that just, caught my attention is you talked about even when maybe you weren't feeling all that close with God. What's been your experience with that? For me, God has used camping in my life sometimes, like at those moments when I'm thinking, I don't even know why I'm here. Mm-hmm. I find out why I'm there, and it gives me a chance to kind of shift. I end up leaving very different than I arrived. Has it been that kind of a thing when you share stuff like that?
Yeah, certainly. Grew up in a Christian home and everything, but I didn't really quite make my faith my own faith and like truly follow Jesus until a little bit later on during my sophomore year in high school. So and even during the winter camps before that, even though like in those moments I didn't like have the strongest faith in God, and I wasn't necessarily like following him, I look back on it now, and I can realize that God had that for me there, just in the midst of my life, because he definitely knew I needed it. I just needed the community of Lake City and all like throughout middle school and throughout high school, because it definitely played a huge part in my life, considering my family life and everything.
Yeah.
And so that was really impactful for me.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about Malibu, and specifically the military family camp. I actually haven't asked you guys this, but can you guys explain a little bit about what is this camp about? Why are they having this camp? What do you guys know about that?
My understanding of it is that for the military families, it can be pretty hard. I was a part of a military family, right? Hard to kind of get time together, and like parents are deployed and whatever, and they don't like really be with their kids much, or the spouses don't get to be with each other a ton. So it's hard to spend like quality time. But this is kind of allows a space and a time for military families to get together as a family, and then get to bond closer to each other. And then ultimately, hopefully, like with the way Young Life does their speaking stuff, can implement the message of the gospel in there as well, and kind of help lead some of the families towards Christ, and then get them connected into Christian communities and churches.
Good job. Yeah, good explanation. The one thing I would add, and then Elena, if you have anything to add, you certainly can add too, but one thing I would add is when I first found out about this, which was many years ago now, one of the things that they talked about is the filter that they look through in terms of like what families they choose, is they go with lower ranking, more kids, and recently deployed. And so if you think about like those three things, they're looking for families that meet what you just talked about, like that maybe have the hardest time to actually get away, either because of time, money, deployment. And I loved that. Like I love the idea that these people that give their life to serve our country, and then we get a chance to give them this gift. And then in the meantime, or as well, they also get to hear about the gospel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I know. I saw that too, like really ministering to the families. They had the ministries for just the husband and wife, and then for the whole family too. And there were like scavenger hunts and big events put on to like entertain the little kids and just make it super fun for the whole family.
Yeah. As you guys know, I was on staff with Young Life for many years, and I've always said the one thing Young Life does better than everybody is camping. Like they understand how to do camping, and I love that it's being used to serve this group of folks, which obviously here at Lake City, that's near and dear to our hearts, right? Because we have such a large military community that we find ourselves serving anyhow. So specifically about last summer, we took 60 people up there total, most of those from Lake City. What was your job? What did you guys do?
My job, I remember, leading up to the trip and during like one of the interest meetings, I think you either texted me or we kind of talked about it in person. And you mentioned, you asked me, you were like, would you be willing to lead the games for the kids? And I was just like, okay, I think. I didn't really know for sure. I had worked in children's ministries and stuff here at LC3 with like Awana and the like LC3 kids and stuff. And so I had some experience and everything, but I didn't really know what to expect exactly, because I was thinking like, oh, it's a huge camp, right? So there's going to be like tons of kids. And you want me to kind of like lead it? And I was like, okay. I didn't know if this was like kind of co-lead or like be the head lead. But then I come to find out I was actually supposed to like lead everything, and I was like, okay, all right. I'm like, all right, God, you got this. Like, you're gonna help me through this. So yeah, my job was taking care of like the kids, and during their game time, because they would have like family session or like speaker sessions in the evenings for the parents and for some of the older kids. And so during those times, they'd take like the elementary kids and some of the younger kids and put them in the nursery, and then we'd have like crafts and games for the elementary kids. And I was in charge of leading the games for the elementary kids in the gym for like a couple hours in the evening. So
Nice.
That was lots of fun.
Nice. Yeah. How about you, Elena?
I was in the dining hall, so
Okay.
my job included preparing the meals, helping set out the preset food, and then serving the food to the table. So I had 5 tables, and they would open the doors with like music and announce us, and we'd serve the food to the tables and kind of get to connect with each family.
So you got to actually talk to and see some of those families
Yeah.
throughout the week?
Yeah, it was a really cool connecting experience, because
Yeah.
they were just super friendly at the tables, and you make small talk as you're passing out the food. So
That's great. I got to tell you both, like one of the real gifts for me is as I was trying to recruit and get people on the team, and then as people came on the team, I would ask like Reese, or I would ask Nikki, or some of the other leaders, hey, so tell me about like some of these kids, what can they do? And I think about what you just said. I didn't know if I could do it. Like, you have to know, like, that was not at all what anybody told me. Like, everybody that talked about, you coming, like, he can absolutely handle that. And Elena, same thing with you. The leadership at our church have great confidence in you guys. You guys have set a really high bar for our students, and you guys have done a really great job of just leading in general. And we see that. I get to go on a trip like this, and it's just such a gift for me as one of your pastors to watch you guys in action. So I love that. That was really fun for me. I'd love to hear anything surprising about the week. You guys had never been to Malibu, right?
I think what was surprising for me, like as soon as you step off the boat, it's like 360. You're surrounded by just like infinite beauty, and it's just breathtaking. You feel so small because of how big the mountains are, and just the water, and just the vastness of it. I think it's such a like testimony of God's beauty in the world, and that was like breathtaking to me instantly. Something that was surprising in the work, I think, was just how much it takes to run a kitchen, and the amount of food, and the amount
to feed all those people,
the amount of cleanup, and then resetting it, ready for the next meal, and just all the moving parts in that.
It's good. Dustin, how about you?
Yeah, for me, same here with like just how absolutely gorgeous it was. I know you guys talked about it, like you and Kelly talked about it, and just how amazing it was. And you just kept emphasizing that, but like we couldn't really picture it. And then like when we actually got there and just stepping out the boat and just looking was just like insane. I've never seen a place so beautiful. Probably like the best place I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And every morning I'd kind of wake up and just go spend some time by myself and God, just looking out at the mountains and the water, and it was just so beautiful. And another thing was kind of just how long some of the days were. I remember like one of my friends, like, he had his phone on him throughout the campus, so we had tracked our steps and stuff, and we were with each other the majority of the time, so we had like 18,000 or 19,000 steps a day or something. I don't know. Like, we did the math on it. It was like 8 or 9 or 10 miles a day, just walking all over like crazy. Part of that was definitely running around with the kids in the gym, playing games with them in the evening, which got exhausting. But one of the harder challenges was how it got a little bit tiring, for sure. But we definitely had enough rest, and I was definitely surprised about how like much fun everything was.
Yeah.
I was ready. I was coming to the camp, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to to work hard the whole time. I'm ready. And like we talked about, like emptying ourselves and kind of dying to ourselves and just be ready to work and serve these families. But like even the work itself was just so fun and so fulfilling. And there was nothing really more enjoyable than working alongside like your brothers and sisters in Christ, to be able to help lead others towards Christ and stuff. And so I was just amazed by how beautiful it was and how fun it was, really. That was kind of what I was surprised by.
I love the picture, and I've painted this picture for folks as I've been a leader up there many times. But I love the thought that, you know, at the beginning of time, God created that space, knowing that one day there would be a boat bringing people, you know, in the summer, all summer long, it's bringing high school kids there to hear the gospel, but knowing like that week that these military families would come and would get served really well and would hear the gospel as well. I love that thought that God always knew that that's how that place would be used.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that it was hard work, because it is a work crew, it is a work staff. And we talk about, when I talk to folks, I'm always telling them, like you said, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's fun, like you got to go. But I also want them to know, and you're going to work, it's hard, there's long days. And so I'm glad you guys brought that up, because that's important for everyone to know that, right? So you're planning to go this year?
Absolutely.
100%, yeah.
I wouldn't want to miss it.
Yeah. I don't want them to hear how hard it is. Like, no, I'm never going there again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, I think fulfilling to work in a place like that, in an environment like that. It was so, like, always happy to be there and to be working. And even, like, one of the nights, there was this huge thunderstorm. I've never seen rain like that. And we were, like, resetting the tables. And the dining hall is all glass windows. And so it was like a little freaky because the windows are like rattling. Yeah. And we just looked outside, and over the water, there's just all this lightning just hitting everywhere. And it was so beautiful, like just breathtaking, like God's majesty. And
so I'm curious, I don't know if you've thought about this, but you're going again. What are you hoping for this year? I mean, obviously to serve, we all want to do all of that, but anything else comes to mind when you think of, like, what are you hoping for this year?
Well, to have fun again, obviously.
Sure.
I think that's just going to come naturally. But also, I was just hoping to make an impact on families again. And last year, I had several families, they would come to me, and they were just like, when they would come pick up their kids in the evenings, they would be just like, be so thankful and show their appreciation. They're just like, thank you so much. Like, I just had like the best time with like my spouse, whatever, and like we were able to connect and whatever. And they were like very appreciative that we were able to kind of take their kids through them, take care of them, so they wouldn't have to worry about them and be focused on like the relationship with their spouse or something. So that's kind of my hope again. And there was like a couple people that actually ended up coming to here at LC3, and like I've gotten to see them around and kind of make those connections, and to see that and like see that change in their lives, and then just can see them continue to grow, and see their kids in the children's ministry and stuff here. It's just been really cool.
I got to tell you, I'm in charge of our team, you know, and I do all this stuff to get us all up there. And I think I'm a pretty big deal. And these families, we serve them, and they come to Lake City, and I'm thinking, I'm a pastor here, I'm a pretty big deal. And then when they come here, they see me and they see you guys, and they run to you guys. It's like, wait, what is up with this? I'm supposed to be the big deal. And I love that the kids, I mean, I remember the one time one of the kids was just following you around because, you know, which is such a beautiful picture, right, of serving. So let me give just a couple of details, just so in case, you know, you're listening and you're thinking, hey, I think I might want to go. We're going in August. The dates are August 18th to 24th. So we'll leave in the morning of the 18th, and we'll be back by late. I think we pulled in at like 9-ish on the day we got back, so the 24th. So it's Monday through Sunday. It's actually one day less than last year just because of scheduling with Malibu. So if somebody is listening and they're thinking, maybe I want to go, what would you say to them? Somebody's considering it.
I would say get out of your comfort zone. Like, even if you're scared or not sure where it's at, just step into God's calling for you. I met one of the kids recently. I think he's around my age, and he was actually one of the tables I served at, and he was talking about like the best weeks of his life, just in passing. I don't think he even remembered I was from Malibu, and he was like, Malibu Family Camp when I was in Malibu, Canada. And just to be able to be a part of that impact is just like so valuable and rewarding and fulfilling, I think.
Any thoughts?
Absolutely. If you are thinking about going, and if you have the time, the money, and the resources to go, do it 100%. It is super fun, absolutely worth it. It is worth the money. It is incredibly cheap compared to how amazing an experience it is. And this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that so many people will not get. So if you can, you should definitely take it. Elena was saying, just kind of step outside your comfort zone if you're not really sure about it. Like for me, like I wasn't really sure if I wanted to lead the kids and everything to the games, but I did it anyway. I was like, all right, God, and kind of just let that up to him and just trusted him in that. And it was so rewarding and so fulfilling. One of the best times I've ever had in my life.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thanks again, you guys, for joining me, and thanks for sharing your experiences. I am personally looking forward to being up there again with you guys. If you are interested, please, you can find information through the LC3 app, or you can contact the church office. They did mention cost. It's $250, but we do have scholarship money available. We can raise money for it. We consider it a missions trip for the church. So please don't let money be the reason you don't go. But yeah, compared to a lot of trips that we try to take, it's very affordable, and we would love for you to come and be a part of our team, although it is filling up, so better act quickly. But anyhow, again, thanks for joining us, and thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for connection, community, and relationship here on LC3 Family Talk. See you next time.